John, we're looking at the weekend forecast, and we've got thunderstorms and potential snow.
Yeah, all the big hitters, I think, as we head through towards the end of the week. A real change from the start. It's always amazing how the weather can just vary so much through the week. But as you say, heavy rainfall coming back towards us. We've got a couple of watches, places like Westland and the Tauro Range. As that rain pushes through today into Friday for the South Island. But then for Friday, it'll moves up towards the North Island as well. But I think those watches are only telling part of the story.
Okay.
As you can see, that rain continues to push through. And there's some pretty beefy looking signals through there. There's some very large showers, some thunderstorms perhaps to come through. Those purple colours are a real indication of that heavy nature of these rains come through. And I think particularly those western areas, it's going to be something to watch out for as we head through Thursday, Friday. Just generally a different story. That first band of rain clearing through, perhaps easing for a time. But you can see it's just more of those fronts just running back towards us. That cold air aloft and those warmer temperatures down south, perfect conditions for some thunderstorms as well. So I think that's going to be a real key one for a lot of folks out west.
Yes, 100%. I'm actually going to show you the lightning now as we kind of run through exactly what you just talked about. But you could see this is Friday morning. Look at all that lightning showing up there in the west of the South Island, Westland, Buller, Gray, places like that.
It's a very classic picture for winter, isn't it? With the thunderstorms mainly around those western parts of the country. You know, western today, I think, is it's a real risk. But as we head in towards tomorrow, from, let's say, that Taranaki coast round towards Waitomo, Waikato, and even up towards northern Auckland, I think they're the biggest areas to catch that risk of thunderstorms. And you know as well as I that we're looking at lightning. But with thunderstorms, sometimes what causes some more issues are the heavy rainfall that comes with it, and also those big gusty winds as well. Lewis, my colleague, always talks about thunderstorms as being like that amplifier, that switch that you already get the strong winds and heavy rain, and then the thunderstorms just give that extra push, an extra pulse of some pretty active weather that comes through. So definitely one day to be keeping a close eye on the radar charts, especially for those areas out in the west, I think.
Yeah, threats for some heavy rain, as you mentioned, some surface flooding perhaps, and lightning. Always a danger. You hear that thunder, you got to go indoors, get out from the lightning. So we've got that. I do want to switch gears and talk a little bit about the snow, if we may. I'm just going to flick ahead to that because this is the New Zealand ensemble, okay? But you all will be watching this with great care, of course. This is the potential for us to see 3 centimeters or greater of snow. Let's go to Friday, and you could see that expand there along the South Island. What's happening with this?
Yeah, so of course, as we've got the northwesters, that brings the moisture. And then the switch to cold southwesterly winds brings that cooler air. And that's the combination of things we want for some snowfall. Now, places like Southland, Otago, we could see that snow level dropping down to around about 200-300 meters. Now, that's definitely low enough to impact some of those spots, like places like Queenstown and through there, particularly Friday night into Saturday. There's one to watch. And even if you don't get the snow, first thing Saturday morning, it's going to be cold.
Yes.
And I think we've seen in the last few weeks the resurgence of things like that black ice, that really ultra clear ice that forms overnight where any moisture freezes so clear and crisp. But if you're out early in the morning, just taking that extra care on the roads. But I think it's going to be quite a snowy start to the weekend, especially across those southern parts. And you can see that bright line up the southern Alps. Classically, if you're trying to go east to west, west to east, watching out for that as well. Those road snowfall ones, one to watch out for.
Yes, and you all will have those updates, of course, on your app, website as well. And it does look like the snow threat lingers into Sunday, too. Even look at this, in the North Island, this could be good news for the folks around Tongariro, but Desert Road, that's one of the places that often will get those road snowfall warnings. So that's another place we'll have to watch, right, John?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those most spectacular roads I think we've got in New Zealand. And we're spoiled for great roads.
We are.
I think that is a particularly good one because it goes so high up. It crosses those mountains. It is one of those spots that gets cold. It was -5 at the weather station we saw at Desert Road this morning. Nice cold, crisp, but frosty. But with that risk of some snowfall, I think overnight Saturday into Sunday, it's going to be one to watch out for. Not to the same level as the snow down south,
right?
But still enough to perhaps cause some issues. So one to watch out for through there. But like you say, great news for the teams at Ruapehu, looking to perhaps keep some hit some snow on those slopes up there.
That's fantastic. The ski fields and the ski areas will be happy to hear that. It won't be for everybody, but certainly a lot of the South Island spots, as you mentioned. Anything you want to add as we wrap things up here on this Thursday afternoon?
I think we've got plenty happening over the next 2 days.
Yeah.
We've got those thunderstorms, we've got some hail,
Right.
there's strong gusty winds, we've got the snowfall. There's going to be lots of things going on. Keep an eye on the latest forecast as we head in towards the weekend. Next week does, I think, look a little bit more settled, but it's going to be cold. But it is winter. It's the end of July as we head in towards next week. So not a surprise, but definitely want to be keeping those extra layers close to.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready for winter to end. I'd like to see a little bit more snow on some of our mountains too, John. I appreciate you joining us here this afternoon. Thanks for all the information.
Cheers, Chester. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Take care.